Hello and welcome to another episode today, one that I've been thinking about for a while, and it's things that really get me with owning the C4S. Things I dislike, things I don't want to say hate is such a strong word, but occasionally I do hate these little niggles when I'm driving the car, when I'm living with the car. So I wanted to share my top things that I do not like about owning this car, and the first one will be right here in the very front. I touched up upon this not long ago, I think in my last video, and that was the boot space, the frunk as they call it in some countries. So you see, it's quite limited, obviously not helped by the fact that the wind deflector sits right here, which is rather annoying. So without it, you do get a bit more space, which is nice, but without this, oh, I mean, it's, look how much deeper this goes. I mean, that's, you know, that's quite a bit. Very deep. It's quite wide as well. I mean, it's very wide, and it goes in there somewhere. I'm not really sure how far it goes in, but you know, decent enough space. So without this, I really don't know why I need this. I doubt it would ever come in handy in an emergency, because I don't know how you'd be able to pump it. They give you this, but I think this is such a novelty. I mean, it wouldn't pump to save its life. So really, I would have preferred if this didn't come with it. Nowadays on sort of modern cars, you can specify to have the spare wheel or you don't. I think on longer journeys I'm gonna choose to take it out, although it's a pain. I did try and take it out previously. Well, I did take it out previously when I was fitting the new amplifier. So yes, so this is not a very useful thing. So number one, I do not like this. It's just difficult for longer journeys, or for shorter journeys actually, shall I say. I want to be able to fit everything in here, close the boot, and not have to overwhelm the car from within. You know, it's all well, you know, ramming the car in with a bunch of things for longer journeys. I don't mind, you know, these seats in the back become very useful, and I've fit a whole suitcase in there, and that's fine. But for shorter journeys, I want to keep it clean, want to keep it simple. I just want to be able to utilize the front properly, and the space is there, is just taken up by this spare wheel. The second thing is we'll see here, and that's, let me just put the volume down. All right, and that's miles per gallon. That's the fuel economy on this car. It says here 20 liters per 100 kilometers. So that on a what's the, I think around 65 liters, that's how much the tank in this car is. So that'll give you around god, maybe 300, what's that in miles? Very, very poor economy. Equates to around 14 to 15 miles per gallon, which is awful. I genuinely don't remember it was, you know, it being this bad back in the day. I remember getting in the really high teens, and so 14 to 15 miles per gallon in the city is not good enough at all, and that drives me mad. And it literally almost weekly you'll have to top up a full tank, and not driving really that much distance, not really going anywhere far enough. So that I don't like. On longer journeys, it tends to creep up in the early 20s, 22, 23, depending, but you'd have to, you know, drive very sensibly. And so yeah, so that's one thing I really don't like, and that's driving economy. And I know it's a sports car, but it's not a V8, it's not a V10, and those numbers are sort of in that category for bigger engines. All right, my number 3 niggle is, oh yes, all right, my number 3, let me just turn it on here, and that is the fuel gauge. You'll see here it's in the red, and it's actually it went in the red. I topped it up. I didn't have my wallet, so I put all the cash that I had in there. It was about, I think I put around 20 liters in there worth of fuel, and it didn't budge. So I think it's just purely a sort of a four-wheel. So it's on the Carrera 4 or the 4S. And because of the way they're set up, because of the four-wheel drive system, their fuel tank configuration is slightly different to the regular Carreras. So they have this issue where once it goes below a certain mark, you have to top up you know, anything above 30 to 40 liters before it registers on the meter here, and that's quite annoying. I think it's you know, for me, I think it's one of those things where, you know, the manufacturers, Porsche, thought, you know, if you're gonna get this car, then you're gonna be able to afford to fill it up to the brim every time. So it's like they're sort of saying no paupers driving or owning this car, which I find quite sort of funny, but you know, it is annoying, and sort of it's you know, it's not very comforting when you see that staying on there. So obviously, you know, you can remedy it, but it's not a great thing. So that's number 3 on the list. All right, I think this is it for the most part. There's really not much else I dislike about the car. I love owning the car. Obviously, I could, you know, gripe about the suspension and the comfort ride driving on UK roads, but that's how the car is set up. Obviously, it's not ideal for city driving. It's more for highways and nice and twisty roads. But these are the things that I find rather annoying living with the car, and those are really the only 3 ones that I've been able to think about, and I've had to think really hard for quite a long time to come up with these ones. So that's it for today. I am going to film another episode because people are asking me why did I choose the 996 C4S specifically. So I'm gonna do another episode, and I'll upload it probably tomorrow or the day after. So yeah, thanks for watching.